Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again in this YouTube astrological segment. I'm going to be talking about the moon sextile or trine Saturn in a natal chart. Now, some of you may remember when I first started my YouTube astrology channel, I did a series on the aspects in the natal chart. They were a little bit concise. Some people may refer to them as snappy. So what I decided to do was make another series on them in which the videos would be a little bit longer and more descriptive. So anyway, first thing up is if you have the moon sextile or trine Saturn in a natal chart, you may easily need the need, which is the moon. That involves careers, which is Saturn related endeavors. If Saturn is in Taurus, as an example, career-related endeavors may be connected with geology, carpet laying, working as a pawnbroker or stockbroker, doing something with gardening, cultivation, agriculture, architecture. Career-related matters may be done in a very persistent manner and being very patient as well in the process with them. Now, another thing about these aspects, if you have the moon sextile or trine Saturn in your natal chart, you may readily concentrate, which is Saturn, on the emotional needs. It may be easy to do this with little diversions or distractions in the process. Now, emotional needs being the moon, of course, and you have if you have the moon in Gemini as an example, emotional needs may be manifold and they connected with communication, assimilating and disseminating information, things that involve manual dexterity such as auto or refrigeration mechanics as some examples. Now, another thing about these aspects, if you have one of these aspects in your natal chart, the feelings and emotions may be disciplined. This could be a good aspect for having, that control, the emotions, at least to a certain degree, and maybe in many instances, because Saturn is about discipline and the moon, of course, about our feelings and emotions. And the thing is, if you have your moon in Pisces as an example, emotions may actually be chaotic at times, but the Saturn aspect can help add some discipline to this. And the thing too is, if you have or the moon in Taurus as another example, emotions may actually be very stable and steady, although the moon in Taurus can unleash a pretty mighty outburst after prolonged baiting or goading. But the Saturn aspect, Saturn sextile or trine moon, can help this. Now, another thing about the moon sextile or trine Saturn in a natal chart, as far as how it may manifest, well, it can be too where the emotions, or I should say, I'm sorry, the mother and which is mother is the moon and the father and Saturn, could indicate compatibility between them, because you have a good relationship with the, as far as the aspects goes, and moon again is the mother, Saturn the father. But naturally, you got to look at whether it's contraindicators in your own chart, or be able to or see the actual synastry that exists between those people in their individual charts, to really ascertain that more deeply. But the thing too is, and if you have the moon in Aquarius, say as an example, the mother may actually be an Aquarius sun, moon, or ascendant, or simply embody the characteristics of the sun. It could be a person that's eccentric, altruistic, considerate, unobtrusive, ingenious, and unpredictable, as well as some examples. Now, another thing about the moon sextile or trine Saturn in your natal chart is how it may be expressed. Well, it could be easily able to nurture and care, which is the moon, for the father, older people, and authority figures, which is Saturn. If Saturn is in Aries, as an example, one or more of these people may actually be an Aries sun, moon, or ascendant, or simply embody the traits of the sun. It could be people that are aggressive, assertive, courageous, forceful, outspoken, direct, pioneering, but yet also maybe impatient and impulsive, as some examples. And in being able to do this as well, caring for those people with little diversions and distractions. Now, these aspects can also be propitious for business and success in general, which is Saturn, with the public, which is the moon. Now, if you have your Saturn in the zodiac sign Cancer as an example, business maybe tied into, it could be home renovation, remodeling. It may simply be something you do in your home, or it could be something with real estate. Some other examples could be, home caregiving, or operating some kind of laundry, plumbing business, restaurant, cooking, culinary work, as some examples. Now, another thing about the moon, sextile, or trine Saturn in the natal chart, it could also be about where it's very positive, for having the structure, which is Saturn, in your home life, which is the moon. Now, if you have your moon in Sagittarius, your home life may be one where you're constantly expanding the home, or expressing a lot of exuberance, enthusiasm, and connection with it. Maybe it's you're doing things that are sports related, at your home, or home where you express a lot of humor, express your philosophies and beliefs, as some examples. Now, another way these aspects may manifest and pan out in the chart is that the father, which is Saturn, may be compatible with your unconscious side, which is the moon. If the moon is in Leo, as an example, that unconscious side, may be one that's very magnanimous, generous, say very, you could say also extravagant, but extroverted, gregarious, courageous, one that may give, that grandeur impression, as well, but can also be, a side that grants favors easily, as some examples. Now, another thing too is that these aspects can also be auspicious for responding, which is the moon, to really, as far as responding in a way where you're composed, during, adversity, and that can have a, connection with Saturn. Now, the thing is, if you have, say, Taurus, Saturn is in Taurus, that adversity, may be tied into a monetary matter, or, material possessions or resources, as some examples. If Saturn is in Gemini, maybe you're dealing, with some kind of theft or forgery or plagiarism, as far as adversity may go, as some examples. Now, another thing too about the moon sextile or trine Saturn in a natal chart is that you may have, good insight and intuition, which is the moon, regarding responsibilities and hard labor, which is Saturn, in terms of, maybe just having an instinctive idea or conception how long things are going to take to get done that involve responsibilities or hard labor. If Saturn is in Capricorn, as an example, it could be something associated with construction, or architecture, or business, or government, or political related work, as some examples. Now, also, the people that you're close to home with, which is the moon, may be in agreement and harmony with, your work that you do and your career, which is Saturn. If Saturn is in Virgo, as an example, work and career related matters may be tied in, doing something with analytics or statistics, or extrapolating data, something that involves, cleaning, sanitation, organization, compiling data, as some examples. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Learnard saying, stay well.